everybody, hope you're all doing well. My name is Laura and welcome to my YouTube channel where I post footage of the wildlife cameras I have set up in my garden. So today I thought I'd talk about something a little bit different but still keeping in the theme of wildlife and nature. I recently finished this book called Rewild Yourself by Simon Barnes, which I got from my local library. And I really enjoyed this book, and I thought that some of my viewers might also enjoy it, so I thought I'd quickly talk about it. So this book is all about how you can interact with and connect with nature more. And Simon provides 23 spells, as they're called, but ways, in which you can do that. And they're really beginner friendly, they're really budget friendly, and yeah, I think it's fantastic. So I'm not going to talk about every single chapter because then there'd be no point in you guys reading it. However, I thought I'd talk about my top 3 chapters that I really enjoyed and that really resonated with me. So the first chapter that really resonated with me was called The Bottomless Sit. So this is all about how you can go out in nature and just sit still and quiet. Now, I think we're all a little bit guilty of, life getting too busy, work, all of that sort of thing, and we're always on the go. However, Simon provides a really great way that you can connect with nature by just sitting still. As simple and easy as that. And by doing so, you pick up and you might see things, you might hear things that you wouldn't have seen before if you're sort of not paying attention, busy doing something else. And this is something that I want to implement in my garden a little bit more. I'm a gardener. Whenever I'm in the garden, there's always a job to do. There's always something I spot that needs doing. So guilty of that. However, I really want to enjoy my garden a little bit more. So that's something that I'm going to be trying to implement a little bit more myself. So the second chapter that really resonated with me was a chapter called Reading the Secret Signs. Now, this is a chapter all about footprints. So Simon talks about how maybe next time you're out on your walk, not only take in what you might be seeing and hearing, but also have a look on the ground, because you might be seeing footprints. And footprints are a great way in which you can learn about where you are and what's been there before you. You might not physically see the animal in front of you, however you know they've been there because they've given you a little secret sign in their footprints. And it can really tell you a lot about the environment that you're in, the animals that inhabit that area or who have passed through. And I think it's quite sweet personally. You might not be able to identify that footprint at the first glance. I probably wouldn't. I am no expert. I'm not going to claim to be any expert. However, there's a lot of apps on your phone these days where you can take a picture, upload it onto the app and it will tell you, or you could simply just take a picture and have a research when you get home. So yeah, that's something that I'm going to be implementing on my autumn walks this year. So the third chapter that really resonated with me was a chapter called Regaining Your Lost Sense. And this chapter is all about birdsong. So personally, I love coming into my garden and listen to all of the different bird songs, and I'm no expert, but I can identify a few, such as blackbirds, robins. Simon makes a really good point that we're very keen to go bird watching and physically see the bird in front of us. However, we can learn a lot by birdsong because you're probably more likely to hear the bird than you are to see the bird, because birdsong is so vital, for the survival of birds, and you might be able to hear them in my garden at the minute. So Simon recommends that we listen out to birdsong a little bit more, and it can actually be really rewarding, and he lists a couple of common garden birds that you might see, you might hear, and provide you with a little bit of information on that. Simon also talks about how you might not be able to identify the bird yourself, because most of us are not experts. I certainly am not. However, he does mention that there are a number of apps that you can get on your smartphones where you can just press record and it will identify the bird for you. And personally, that's something that I do already. So I use an app called Merlin Bird ID. This is not sponsored, by the way. And I have used that hundreds of times in my garden, and I simply just press record, listen out for the bird song, and it will identify the birds that are coming through, and it will provide you with snippets of information on them as well. And I've also used it in the Lake District when I went there in April, which was great. So yeah, that chapter really resonated with me because it was something that I'm already sort of doing, but it's something that I want to do a lot more on my walks. So yeah, that's something that I'm going to be trying to do a little bit more going forward. So overall, this is a book that I would definitely recommend to my viewers. I think you'd really enjoy it. It's a really easy read, it flows really well, and the chapters are really nice and short and concise. Another thing I really liked was that it's very beginner friendly, so you don't have to be an expert to do any of this stuff, and also it's budget friendly, so you don't have to spend a huge amount of money to do the things in this book. So I think it will really appeal to a lot of different people. And one thing I really liked as well was that Simon talks about a lot of his own experiences and some of the lovely memories that he's made by implementing some of these spells, these tips. So there's also like a personal touch to the book, which I really enjoyed as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please feel free to check out my other videos about my wildlife cameras, and if you enjoy them, please subscribe to my channel, it does mean a lot, and remember to put your notification bell on so you're notified of all my new uploads. I do upload about 3 times a week. I usually do a little bit more because I have some extra content, but I do post regularly. Until next time, bye!